Hey guys, Warthog DIY here, and today we're coming at you with this box mod that we're going to be working on in this series of videos. So expect to see a few parts released in the next coming weeks about this particular DIY project. This one's going to be a little bit lengthy. This is going to be an idea that's taken from the 3D design that we've got right here to 3D printed product that we can put in our hands, assemble with all the little bits and pieces that we want, and then test it out and give our thoughts about it. So to start, this is a box mod. If you really don't know what it is, it's similar to a vape pen. If everybody's seen what a vape pen is, everybody, including their mother, probably got one at this point. But this is going to be a little bit different. Basically, a box mod can be either a simplified form or an overly complicated form of a vape pen battery box. And what this does is it allows us to customize our batteries. It allows us to customize the casing material, the button that we're going to use to trigger the vape tank, the igniter, and a couple of other things that make these really one of one and stand out compared to what you can get in the store. As you can see, this is my Vault-Tec themed box mod. There's our Vault Boy right there, and here we've got a little bit more theme right here. It's a radiation sign with some words, some text applied to it. And so the design goal of this is to finish it up in this CAD software and then send it to the 3D printer and see if it really turns out and if it's usable. So to start off, as you can see, this is a standard 5 by 4 inch box mod. It's going to be 3D printed out of black ABS material, and we are developing it to accept 3 lithium polymer battery packs. They're going to fit in this battery cage right here that I've designed. It's going to fit 3 packs, each of them at 3.7 volts with a capacity of 2,000 milliamp hours for a total capacity of 6,000, which is going to be great, and hopefully we can last several days without having to send it to the charger. So right here is the only part that dwells from a traditional box mod. As you can see, this looks like kind of a cutout for a regulated chip. And here's the twist. Even though on the exterior we're going to have our stainless steel 22mm firing button and our stainless steel 510 tank connector, we're still going to put in a regulated chip, and that's going to allow us to vary the voltage and the wattage that we're using so we can customize, the cloud that we pull, as well as kind of spicing up this DIY, making it a little bit more interesting, giving something kind of a basic look about it while still making it sort of technical is interesting, and it's kind of a fun endeavor. So these batteries, these lithium polymer batteries, are inserted into the tray. They're going to be hooked up to this regulator, which is then actually going to have its firing circuit button removed. The little micro switch that fires the coil from the circuit is going to be removed, and leads drawn out to the 22mm button, so we can still retain this functionality while still having this circuit chip. As you can see from the other side of this case, once I can get to it, there you go. This is where the circuit is going to fit. Give me 1 second to bring up that view for you and open this a little bit more. There we go. This is an extrusion for the buttons, our USB slot, and here is space for the OLED screen that comes off the circuit. Our circuit of choice is a Kangertech circuit that I've salvaged from a sort of aesthetically damaged box mod attachment. With a little bit of soldering and a little bit of tweaking, we can get it to work with this no problem. So a JST connector coming off the circuit and a JST lead to the button right here will make sure that everything's removable, everything's replaceable, and nothing is hardwired into each other. So here we go. Let's get into a little bit more detail. As you can see on the cage, there's this rail holding attachment. Let's call it an attachment right here on the top and the bottom, and those are going to fit into these rails right here along the inner part of the box mod, the larger case. And you can see right here we've got some damage that this extrusion has done, and I'm not sure why I had this extrusion here, but I'm definitely going to take it out and restore this cylinder, this rod, to its original shape, because it's going to, in my eyes, hold this cage very well It's going to make sure that the cage doesn't rattle around side to side, and the cage's dimensions actually match the box mod when the lid is attached evenly, so we shouldn't get any sway from side to side, so we definitely won't have any bumping. And that's going to give it that quality feel, that nice, well thought out feel, that this was actually done carefully, this was designed, that this was well thought out. And so the lid that we're going to print right here, as you can see, there's an extrusion for an acrylic sheet, and that's what's going to hold. It's going to be an acrylic sheet cut out to size and attached to this to hold this design in place, as well as the design of the Vault Boy right here. As you can see, there's these little extrusions right here that are going to hold this design in place while it's being printed and before the acrylic is attached to it, because the acrylic is where most of the rigidity is going to come from. That's what's going to support these logos and keep them in their place. And another idea I'm working with is we're probably going to end up using 3-inch strips of 50/50 SMD LEDs, one right here and one right here, with the same on the other side. And what those are going to allow us to do is give a little bit of backlighting. It's going to show as if radiation is pouring out of this box every time we fire it up, which I think is going to be pretty interesting. And that's also another reason we have 3 cells here, is because there's a little bit of other features that we're going to work with here that are going to be kind of just aesthetic, but they're going to draw power and they're going to draw current, so we definitely have to compensate for them and make sure that even though we're lighting this up and even though we're goofing around with it, we're not draining it too hard, and we're not going to take away from the fact that when you want to have a smoke, you're going to be able to have a smoke. So as you can see right here, moving on, there's these extrusions on the box mod that are going to match the extrusions on the lid, and those are spaces for neodymium magnets that's going to provide this nice click and hold that we want. We don't want the lid to slip off, we don't want the lid to keep falling off. The neodymium magnets are the ones that are definitely going to do it for us in this situation. Now, as about how we're going to put them in there, I'm not sure yet. We may just slide them in, force them in, and then cover them with a black epoxy so you don't see them. Another idea which would be really interesting would just be to leave them hollow, and once the printer has finished printing these shapes and the lid itself and the box mod itself, we'll pause the printer, insert the magnets, and then have the printer do one very thin layer that covers the magnet and seals it in there, and then we won't have to see it again, and the plastic will cover everything, making it look flush, but we're still going to get that closing power and that force that we want to hold these parts together. So this is the first video. We're just talking about the basic design here, and I'm going over what I think, are the key design aspects of this right here. And in the next series, we're probably gonna, or the next part of this series, excuse me, we're gonna send this lid off to printing, get the acrylic cut out, fit it in here, and test that the design can kind of hold up to everyday abuse. Because if we print this out and we print the cage out and we see that it's not working, if the materials need to be beefed up a little bit, that's definitely going to be a lot less of a loss than it is to print this giant box out right here, because this is going to be a lot of material, this is going to be a lot of printer time, and if we mess up here, it's just going to cost us a lot to reproduce it. I would love to prototype this once and have it work out as close to 100% as possible. So we'll see how that works out. And that should be it, guys. Look out for the next video where we start processing and printing this part. We're going to convert it into a stereolithography file. We're going to convert this as well. We're going to set it up on our printer. We're going to see what it looks like, how much material it's going to be, as well as with this. And we're probably going to print them and talk about them and wire up some cells in here, and then move on to this part. So if you like this video, if you like where I'm going with this or what I'm doing, please hit that like button. Please subscribe. If you want to leave a comment or question, or if you've ever done something like this, if you've already 3D printed your own box mod, feel free to drop a comment and talk to me about it. I'd love to know what problems you ran into, if any, what issues you saw, what things tips and tricks basically. So thank you for watching this video. I'm Warthog DIY. This is the Vault Tech box mod, and I'll see you in the next video.